Hi, I'm not wearing any pants, and this is Chilling in the Nightmare. I almost forgot what it is. Alright, so the way I'm doing these videos is like I got a thought, and then I do the video like about the thought. And I might as well just share what the thought is instead of pretending like I'm just spitballing the whole thing. No, there is like a premise. The premise of this video is, I just had a good idea for another video where I can like look at the news and we're going to talk about the news. I could do that like once each time I do this. I can only make these videos like as much as I can get trashed, because I can't imagine doing this if I wasn't trashed. I don't know how people take themselves seriously doing this if they're freaking not drinking. But so the premise for this one was, I have these thoughts when I'm like falling asleep. I'm like falling asleep and I wake up and I'm like, oh, it's a video, and I type it out. This one is, let it go because it's futile. Let it go because it's futile. Do, but don't care. And care, but don't do. Just whatever it. Now, these are obviously profound words of wisdom. And it's something I wish people could understand. The first thing that comes to mind is tragedy, because it's hard to whatever your way through tragedy. I've been lucky enough in my life that I haven't had to experience much tragedy. And I hate to think that for other people, tragedy is a familiar terror, but something that is a universal truth is that any terror can be made familiar, including tragedy. And you know, it sucks, but there's not really anything worse than tragedy. So that's pretty much as bad as it gets. I don't know. It's a hard thing to think about, you know, because nobody wants to think about it. And that's what's hard for the people who've had to suffer tragedies, is who's going to understand their pain is nobody. You can't imagine the pain of somebody who's suffered a tragedy. The most tragic thing that's ever happened in my life, one of them is my best friend just died. But death is a normal part of life, even though, you know, it is the essence of tragedy. But my daughter, she's 8, my oldest daughter, her mother took her away from me, you know, 3.5 years ago or so. I haven't seen my oldest daughter in 3.5 years, and for me, that's the most painful tragedy, because, you know, my friend, he was not my blood, and he is gone forever. But I do believe he lives on, which I guess would be a topic for another video. I'm not going to get into that now. But for me, my worst tragedy was I haven't seen my daughter in 3.5 years. And so what do? You just live with the pain. And I don't know. You know what I think it is? I think life with pain is different than life before pain. And I believe it's kind of the human condition that as you get older, you accumulate more pain, because there's really no way around that, you know. And so maybe it's just part of getting older that you start to live with this pain. But besides the pain, besides the tragedy, what else is there? There's, your body's... Sorry, I have GERD. And I don't know if a lot of YouTubers have GERD. It sounds probably pretty gross in a microphone, especially with all the biru that I'm drinking. But anyways, so tragedy is bad. Also, your body deteriorating and getting old. That sucks, right? So there's things that suck. So tragedy sucks. Getting old sucks. And what else sucks? Hardship. Everybody's got these hardships in their lives, like just paying bills, holding on to your job, losing your job, not having any money, trying to get money. You need everybody around you to help you out. That shit's hardship. When I was young, I was really reliant on the kindness of others. And I wish there was some kind of way for me to repay the universe for all the kindness I received from other people. Sometimes there is, and I always try to do the little things whenever I possibly can. But also, sometimes I don't really have the time. And I just gotta keep it rolling. But it's just whatever. That's my point. You just have to whatever max it. Right? There's sometimes you just gotta do whatever. Alright, so I wrote these 18 novels and I wasn't able to find a publisher. Oh, I was going to make a video about how much it sucks being an unknown, undiscovered, unread novelist. But yeah, you just whatever. That's it. Whatever. Okay, I wasted my whole life writing novels that nobody's gonna read. Whatever. You just whatever. It's okay. It's all good, Even the bad, even the tragedy. Because you know why? Because life is good. Life is good, and that is all you need to know. The purpose of life is life. We are here to live. Carlos Castaneda said, life in itself is self-explanatory, self-evident, and sufficient. We're always trying to find... I gotta move. We're trying to find some purpose, some meaning. Religion, right? Oh, it's okay, because you're going to come back in your next life, and you're going to come back again. And you're going to come back again. Or wait, no, you're not going to come back. You're going to go up into heaven, and you're going to live with Jesus and the baby angels. Whatever, dude. Just whatever. All right, I don't know if you ever heard of Seth. Seth was like a channeled entity through this woman, Jane Roberts, I think. I don't really remember. But anyways, Seth was a channeled entity from the great beyond. And he said, when you die, whatever you think is going to happen, that's what's going to happen. Some people, they die and they think they're going to go to heaven. And they go to heaven. Some people, they die and they think they're going to go to hell. And they go to hell. But either way, you're just adjusting to a different realm. And the people who think that they're going to go to hell, when they get there, they spend a really long time there, because part of hell is that it's eternal. And so this place is, they're just imagining it. and they imagine it is eternal. They imagine they're going to be there forever, and so they stay there forever. Some people, they imagine they'll go to heaven, but they're having a pretty good time. So they're starting to look around like, wait a minute, is this, it seems like we should be doing something else. And as it turns out, oh, hey, yeah, actually we are supposed to be doing something else, like reincarnating or transcending. Maybe you just go become a freaking god of your own universe. Who knows? And also, who cares? Those are my two mantras. When I used to, and I'm going to share this with you. If you decide to get into meditation, I didn't meditate a lot, but I did meditate some. And I had two mantras for when I was meditating, because I would have like two different kinds of thoughts. And every thought could either be like covered by who knows or who cares. Because when you're meditating, you're like trying to like figure out if you're doing it right or if you're doing it wrong, and you just, who knows, who knows, who knows. And every little thought you have, the thoughts, you're supposed to let them move through you. And the best way to get these thoughts moving through you so they don't get hung up and screw the quietude you're trying to attain is just who knows, who knows, who knows, who knows, who knows. And you get another thing, what about this? Who knows? What about this? Who knows? What about this? Who knows? And then you get some other things. It's like, well, there's this. And you're like, who cares? There's this. Who cares? What about this? Who cares? Who cares? Yeah, but really, I mean, there's this. Who cares? Who knows? I don't know. Who cares? I don't care. Who knows? I don't know. Who cares? I don't care. Who knows? Who cares? Who knows? Who cares? These are two extremely useful mantras. And dude, this video, what is the point of this video? I'm just trying to say just whatever, you know, everything is just whatever. Even the most important things, you know. What is a tragedy? It's taking your heart and soul and ripping it out and throwing it into a trash can. Who cares? Right? This is how can you do any better? Who knows? You can't. Who cares is the best you can do. And can you do any better? Who knows? I don't think you can do any better than who cares. Freaking, if somebody ripped out my heart and soul, somebody did, you know. They took my heart and soul and they moved her 2 towns over, and I haven't seen her in 3.5 years. And you just gotta say, who cares? People care. I care. My mother cares. My sister cares. People care. But who really cares? Do the people who matter care? Does the person who matters care? Who knows? You know, if she did this, it seems like she doesn't care. Because it's a terrible thing to do. And you know, these are the most difficult things. For me, that's my most difficult thing. For other people, they've got other difficult things. And maybe, you know, there's something more than who knows and who cares. But maybe there's some kind of solace inside of who knows and who cares, because I have not come up with anything better than who knows and who cares. And there's really no solution for tragedy. Tragedy is as bad as it gets. And who knows and who cares is the best that I've got. And if who knows and who cares is not enough to solve the problem of tragedy, then I do not know what is. But, you know, people do it all sorts of different ways. Erica Kirk is going on a book tour. Oh, shit. I dated my vlog. Now we know I was but they say people grieve in different ways. That's the big joke, right? This widow, this grieving widow, is going on a book tour and making lots of money, and that's how she grieves, right? So people grieve in different ways. Who knows? Who cares? But this was supposed to be a happy video. I wanted to be saying a happy thing, a helpful thing, that for most things, short of tragedy, short of failing health, short of hardship, we can just whatever the rest of it, all right? So we can't whatever hardship, we can't whatever tragedy, we can't whatever failing health, but everything else, you just whatever, who knows, who cares, and just vibe and just let it go. And just be chill. This is chilling in the nightmare. I know it's a nightmare. That's why I called it. You know, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a nightmare. You know what I'm saying? But you just roll your boat merrily down the stream. Whether it's a nightmare or a dream. Who knows? Who cares? Is it a nightmare? Is it a dream? Who knows? Who cares? Deuces.